Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, welcome. My name is Kelly. In today's video, I am going to be sharing with you all of the books that I read in 2023, as well as my goal for 2024, and a little book haul of books that I got for Christmas. We're going to jump into all of the books that I read this past year. I read 28 books, read or listened to 28 books. I read the entire Knock 'Em Out series by Lucy Score. So that is Things We Never Got Over, Things We Left Behind, and Things We Hide from the Light. I really enjoyed these 3 books. The first one introduces you to all of the characters, I believe, if I'm remembering correctly. I read this one very early on. But it introduces you to all of the characters which you read about in all 3 books, which I really loved, but each one focused on a different couple. And so I really enjoyed how these were written. They are also written as a dual POV, which I enjoy. I give this series as a whole 5 stars, and I'm pretty sure I gave each book 5 stars, at least 4 stars, but I'm pretty sure I gave them all 5 stars. Up next we have this duo of books by Colleen Hoover. It Ends With Us and It Starts With Us. Again, another good little duet of a book. Again, they are written in that dual point of view, which I really like. I want to try and do better this year at writing notes for the books that I read, so that when I do reading videos like this, I can remember what I thought. So I gave It Ends With Us 4 stars and It Starts With Us 4.5. I really enjoyed these, but they definitely dealt with some really hard topics. But I think the way that she wrote these is really fantastic. I did make note that the sequel in some facets felt a little unnecessary, but I did really enjoy it. It just didn't feel like when It Ends With Us was over, I felt like it wrapped it up pretty nicely. That this book would not have been necessary, but like I said, really enjoyed it. I read the first 2 books of the Mile High series by Liz Tomford, another series that I have just fallen in love with. The characters are fantastic. These are sports romance written in dual POV. I really love them. What drew me to them really was the covers. I really love them, but the books, the stories, the characters, the storyline for both of them, fantastic. Both of these, I believe I gave 5 stars. I do have the 3rd one. It is called Caught Up, ready to start very soon. I guess I didn't mention what these were called. Mile High and Right Move. I read the entire Simple Wild series by K.A. Tucker, and this is by far my favorite series that I have ever read thus far. These books follow a woman named Kala, and it's her adventures in Alaska. I don't want to give too much away because I went into them kind of blind, just having seen the recommendations, and I loved that because it didn't give too much away about the storyline. They are a romance. It's a grumpy sunshine, slow burn type of romance, but there is a lot more to them than just the romance. There are a lot of side plots. There's a lot of family relationships. There's a lot of other things in these than just the romance, and so I really recommend them. There are 4 books in this series. The Simple Wild, Forever Wild, Running Wild, and Wild at Heart. I loved all of them and really would encourage you to read these. I was on quite the Colleen Hoover kick last year. I read Hopeless, Ugly Love, Regretting You, and Without Merit. This one was not my favorite. It was just kind of a weird storyline that it followed, but I'm glad I read it so that I know that it wasn't my favorite, but still worth a read. But it was just strange. I really enjoyed Regretting You. This one was much more than a romance. It focused a lot on a mother-daughter relationship, which I really enjoyed. I gave this one 4.5 stars. Ugly Love was fantastic. I read this one based on the recommendation from Taryn Reads here on YouTube. She's also on Instagram, and I recommend that you follow her. She raves about this book, and I really enjoyed it. And then the last one by Colleen Hoover was Hopeless. This is the first in a series. I can't remember how many books there are to this, but I did enjoy this one. It was a little intense. It was some really hard stuff to read about, so I would definitely say to check like trigger warnings if you go to read this one, just because it's a little rough. But I did enjoy it. I liked the storyline for the most part. I read The Friend Zone by Abby Jimenez. I loved this book. I don't know what you want to know about books because I don't ever want to spoil anything. I don't want to give anything away. I really enjoyed The Friend Zone. It's definitely like a complicated relationship kind of book, but Abby Jimenez, this is the first book I read by her, and she is a fantastic storyteller. I read Lease on Love by Fallon Ballard. This one was pretty enjoyable. It was an opposites attract, roommates to lovers romance. It was cute. I think I gave it like 3.5 or 4 stars. Up next we have Love in the Time of Serial Killers by Alicia Thompson. This was another one that I was really drawn to the cover because it is super cute. It was interesting. It was not what I was expecting, because with a title like Love in a Time of Serial Killers, I sort of expected there to be some sort of like serial killer plot, but that is not what it was. She is interested in true crime. So it wasn't what I was expecting, but I still enjoyed it. This does have a sequel to it called With Love from Cold World, so I am excited to read that, hopefully this month or next, since it's kind of a wintry book. But I loved this cover and I'm glad I read it. I read 2 Christmassy books this year. The first one was Skipping Christmas by John Grisham. Christmas with the Cranks is based on this book. It's a short little read, but I really enjoyed it. It was cool to see what parts of the book they drew from for the movie, and a lot of it they did, but it was also neat to see the differences. So I really enjoyed this. Highly recommend it this year if you're looking for a quick little Christmassy read. I also read In a Holidays by Christina Lauren. I again really loved this book. It was cute. I enjoyed reading this. It was a nice little holiday read, and it was pretty quick to get through. I did read 2 nonfiction books this year, both by people that I personally know. This one is called My View from Third Base, and it's actually a memoir written by my uncle who played professional baseball. So it's pretty cool to just read like his life story and his memoirs and stuff. So I read that. And then this one is called Making Friends in Business by Helen Overly. This is a lady that lives near-ish to us, and it's about how she created her business with one of her friends, and it's all about their business and advice and encouragement. And so I love this book. This is not the first time that I have read it, but it is definitely worth the read, and you can get it on Amazon. Now for books that I read on my Kindle or audiobook. I read Accidentally Amy by Lynn Painter. I'll put the covers over here. I really loved this. It was a quick little read. It was on Kindle Unlimited, I believe. And I really enjoyed it. I thought it was super cute. Also on Kindle, I got this one on Stuff Your Kindle Day. It's called Murder Sunrise by Liz Lamar. I loved this. It was like a mystery about a girl and her grandmother. I just loved it. It was a fantastic read. It was very quick, and it's a whole series, I believe. I have not investigated that any further, and I haven't read anything other than this one, but I definitely want to read some of them this year. I listened to 4 audiobooks this year. Dear Santa by Debbie Maycomer. I did not love this book. It was a cute little Christmassy read, but it was kind of strange, and it was just like, I don't know if it was the person narrating it, or if it was the way that it was written, or the storyline, or what, but we just didn't, Justin and I listened to this one together, and we just did not enjoy it. We got a good laugh out of it, but it definitely was not what we anticipated it to be. I listened to Have I Told You This Already by Lauren Graham. It is read by her, which I did love, and it's just sort of a collection of stories from her. I enjoyed it because I love Gilmore Girls, so it's really, I enjoyed her, listening to her read her just little stories and snippets of her life. It was almost like hearing additional snippets to Lorelai Gilmore's life, which it's not that because it's Lauren's actual life, but I did really, really enjoy it. And then the last 2 that I listened to, one of them was Counting the Cost by Jill Dillard, and the other was Becoming Free Indeed by Ginger Volo. Both of them I found to be interesting because I used to watch the Duggar family on TLC, so I found it really interesting to read about their lives and what they have changed in their adult lives. So I enjoyed both of them, and I would recommend that you read them if you watched that show whenever it was on. I think next we will move on to my Christmas book haul. It is not huge, but I am super, super thankful for all of the books that I got. They are ones that I have been really wanting. So up first, I got Fourth Wing by Rebecca Yarros, and I also got Iron Flame. I'm super excited about these. I'm sure if you are in the reading Bookstagram, BookTube world, you have definitely heard about these. I'm really excited to read them. I also got Our Missing Hearts. Justin got me this one. I know nothing about it. He also knows nothing about it. He saw it at Target and thought that it looked good, and so he got it for me. He also got me Meet Me at the Lake. Again, don't really know anything about it. I did have this one, a screenshot of this one in my phone, so I must have read someone's Instagram post about it and thought that it sounded really good, so I'm super excited about this. These 2 are actually books that I got for Justin for Christmas, but we will definitely both be reading these. They're both Agatha Christie books. And Then There Were None, Death on the Nile. These were recommended to me by a Books A Million worker. She said this one is based off of a nursery rhyme or something. I can't really remember. And she said this one has a movie that came out based from the book. So I am excited to read these. Justin is also very excited to read these. And the last books that I got for Christmas is the Naturals series by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. I am super excited about these. I have heard really, really good things about these, and so I'm hoping to get through this whole series mystery. I'm not totally sure, but I'm like hoping to get through this whole series very early on in the year because I'm really excited about it. So that brings me to my goal for this year. My goal for this year is to read 50 books, which is, I read 28 this year, and so 50 is almost double. I don't know if I can actually attain that, but my goal for last year was 25, and so I did exceed that, and so I really wanted to push myself to try and read more. If I don't meet 50, it's not going to be that big of a deal to me, but I did want to try, and I do have quite a few little novellas that I want to read this year, so that will help in getting my book count up. I'm also very excited and really proud of Justin because he has never been a huge reader. So he did make a reading goal this year that he wants to try and at least finish the 2 books that I got him for Christmas. And I just think that is super great, and it's a very attainable goal for him, and I love that because he hasn't read a book in a really long time. And so for him to even care to make that a goal really excites me. So let me know in the comments below your thoughts on any of the books that I read. If you've read one of the ones that I got for Christmas, let me know what you thought. And let me know what your reading goal is for this year. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that you enjoyed. If you did, give it a thumbs up and subscribe. I will be trying to share more book content here, but also on my Instagram, which is linked in the description below. I am working at getting more consistent on Instagram and here. I'm posting a lot more because I want to share and it's fun and I like hearing your feedback. So leave a comment down below and share it with a friend. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye!